Inside the mind of the most feared being in the galaxy is a little boy who once dreamed about becoming a Jedi, escaping slavery and saving his mother. He once was promised to be the chosen one, a powerful Jedi that no one could touch. He would one day bring peace to the galaxy and restore order to the thousands of planets he once swore to protect. So how did the chosen one go from powerful general Jedi to become one of the most feared and most deadliest tyrants in all of the galaxy? Well, today you'll have your answer. What's going on, guys? I'm so happy you loved my last Joker video and you guys voted for a Darth Vader video, so ask and you shall receive. Now, this won't be like Joker. It's a different type of experience. This will be a tour. I'm about to take you on a path of events that led to Anakin Skywalker becoming Darth Vader. Now, I know people misunderstand Star Wars, and I get it. It's not your thing. You think it's mainly for nerds, and I get it. Your choice is your choice. However, I want you to stick around for this. You may be surprised at how deep and dark Darth Vader's life really is. So let's begin. There is no emotion. There is peace. There is no ignorance. There is knowledge. There is no passion. There is serenity. There is no chaos. There is harmony. There is no death. There is the Force. This is the Jedi Code that Anakin Skywalker lived by. He swore this code under oath before the Jedi Council, the same council who refused to train him because he was once too old.
The Force is strong with him.
He is to be trained then?
No, he will not be trained.
No.
He is too old.
He had grown attachments to his mother, whom he had left behind in order to be trained by the Jedi, and swore he would come back to save her from slavery. Anakin Skywalker was a gifted Force user, a natural with the lightsaber, and arguably one of the best generals to ever fight in the Clone Wars. With all of these feats, he was only 22. Imagine having to fight day in and day out, watching your men, your soldiers, and your fellow friends die. It's a sick way to live. But it doesn't matter when you're on the battlefield. Why? Because there is no emotion. There is peace. You see, Jedi are not allowed to love or get married. It forms the risk of forming attachments to anyone. It's a dangerous code that is just stupidly obeyed by the Jedi Council. Anakin was forbidden from forming attachments to anyone, including his mentor, whom he had considered his older brother, Obi-Wan Kenobi. But he did form attachments, very early and very dangerously, with a young senator, Padme Amidala. She had a promising future in politics. Politics. The Jedi Council that he had always respected and had such high praise for did not respect him back, all because of a little diplomacy and a friendship he had with a certain politician that they just did not agree with.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.
Okay, maybe Anakin did sound like a child here, but how can you blame him? It's like when you slave over a job for years and years and they don't give you a promotion. They don't give you any kind of respect or even just some kind of stability. I want you guys to watch this hypocritical exchange and notice how the Jedi take advantage of Anakin's friendship with Chancellor Palpatine.
Calm down, Anakin. You have been given a great honor. To be on the council at your age, it's never happened before. The fact of the matter is you are too close to the Chancellor. The council doesn't like it when he interferes in Jedi affairs.
I swear to you, I didn't ask to be put on the council.
Your friendship with Chancellor Palpatine seems to have paid off. The only reason the council has approved your appointment is because the Chancellor trusts you.
And?
Anakin, I am on your side. I didn't want to put you in this situation.
What situation?
The council wants you to report on all the Chancellor's dealings. They want to know what he's up to.
They want me to spy on the Chancellor. That's treason.
We are at war, Anakin.
Why didn't the council give me this assignment when we were in session?
This assignment is not to be on record.
The Chancellor is not a bad man, Obi-Wan. He befriended me. He's watched out for me ever since I arrived here.
That is why you must help us.
There are a lot of things wrong here. So not only are they making Anakin commit active treason, but they want him to keep tabs on someone that they have no business doing. They don't want Palpatine's affairs to interfere with the Jedi, but the Jedi want to know about Chancellor Palpatine's affairs. Interesting. So it can only be one way, but not the other. The Jedi were made to be peacekeepers, and every planetary rotation, Anakin fought day in and day out for the peace of the Republic, while he was living a lie back home with a wife he had forbidden to love or even be public with. Meanwhile, his own mentors and superiors don't even trust and respect him, and are committing active crimes against their own law whenever they see fit. What kind of life is that? Anakin wished that he could only stay with Padme, be with her, and forget about the stupid war and only focus on her love. But it just wasn't the Jedi way. So Anakin hid his feelings, even when he started to have bad dreams about his wife dying, screaming in agony, pain, calling for Anakin's name. His now pregnant wife was destined to die during childbirth. So it seemed. The last time he had a vision like this, he had a dream that his mother was in pain back on his home planet. He could hear him calling his name in the same tone of voice. Pain. Agony. He had to go save her. However, when he got to his home planet, he did find her, but she was tortured, starved, raped, and beaten half to death by Tusken Raiders. By this time, Anakin was only 19, and he watched his mother slowly die in his arms. This was when Darth Vader started to see through and reveal his true colors. At this moment, Anakin lost it. The Jedi Code, the rules, I'm killing them all. And he did exactly that. He slaughtered all the Tusken Raiders, the men, the women, and even the children. He killed them all with the same weapon he swore to protect them from any dangers in the galaxy. All because they killed his mother. He couldn't go to his mentors or his teachers for advice on the visions he was having because remember, there was no emotion. There is peace. If it was revealed that he had any kind of attachments or that if he was married to anyone, he would be outcast from the Jedi. And he would have no job and no way to save his mother. But that's too late now. He only had one person to protect now, and that was Padme. There was no peace inside Anakin's head. He promised himself he would never let another loved one die. He wanted answers. He wanted to become powerful enough to save his wife from death.
These visions you have.
They're of pain, suffering, death.
Yourself you speak of? Or someone you know?
Someone.
Careful you must be when sensing the future, Anakin. The fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
But why? Everyone fears the loss of someone. You can't expect someone to make their emotions obsolete. It's impossible. Imagine someone trying to tell you that your dying parent or sibling has cancer, and the doctor's telling you, do not let the fear of death cloud your judgment. How?
I won't let these visions come true, Master Yoda.
Death is a natural part of life.
But they never trained Anakin to accept that. He grew attachments early and never experienced the loss of another person other than just on the battlefield. But even then he didn't form attachments to his soldiers or his crew. This was someone that he loved, someone he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. This was different.
What must I do, Master Yoda?
Train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
To Anakin this meant nothing. He could lose the most important people in his life. They meant everything to him, especially since one of them hadn't even been born yet. So this last part might be a little confusing for people who don't watch or read Star Wars, so I'm going to give you a very brief rundown so everyone knows what's going on. Palpatine is the Sith Lord who is also the Chancellor, which is kind of like the President of the galaxy. He plays both sides and manipulates the Republic to tip the favors of the Separatists. His apprentice was Count Dooku, who Anakin had killed. So Palpatine was looking for someone to replace his fallen apprentice and become his new right hand. Palpatine could sense Anakin's struggle with his visions, and over the years Palpatine and Anakin grew close to one another, even when they were supposed to. It wasn't inappropriate, it was just simple friendship. But Palpatine secretly was testing him, making sure that when the time was right, he would make Anakin turn against the Jedi. His intentions were never pure. He used the confusion, pain, and naive nature of a boy for his own sick and twisted gain. He promised Anakin that he would teach the power to save a life, even bring them back from death.
Is it possible to learn this power?
Not from a Jedi.
That was all it took. One simple promise with no proof, and Anakin was hooked. Everything that had led up to that moment was only fuel, and now Palpatine lit the blaze of Anakin's distrust towards the Jedi. The Jedi were never going to confess the power to save a loved one, because you're not supposed to have a loved one, and if you did have a loved one, you'd be outcast from the Jedi. He had no way around this. The following events would haunt Anakin for the rest of his life, and would now become the events of what transformed Anakin Skywalker into Darth Vader.
I need him!
Commander Time has execute Order 66. You're fulfilling your destiny, Anakin. Become my apprentice. Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
I will do whatever you ask. Just help me save Padme's life. I can't live without her. I pledge myself to your teachings.
Henceforth, you shall be known as Darth Vader.
Anakin had committed treason, betrayal, manslaughter, and even genocide against his own Jedi brethren. When Padme tried to stop him, he lost his temper, accusing her of betraying him. He took his anger out on her and choked her where she stood. Obi-Wan and Anakin fought a fierce battle, and well, you probably know the rest.
Don't try it. For my brother Anakin. I loved you.
This meant nothing to Anakin as he looked up at Obi-Wan with hatred in his eyes, wishing that he could kill him with just his one remaining limb. The surgery Anakin had to undergo was excruciating. His burnt flesh was beyond repair, his limbs were gone, and all he could do was scream in agony as the medical droids operated on him without anesthesia. If the medical droids did put him under, it would diminish his force abilities by 80%. The droids had to implant robotics into his arms, head, and his torso, all connected to his nerve ends, which were severely scarred by the lava's heat. The tubes ran down his throat and attached to his lungs just so he could help him breathe. Anakin went through the surgery while he was awake the whole time. During the most painful parts of the surgery, all he could do was scream for Padme's name, begging her to help him, who he didn't know was already dead, killed by his hand.
Where is Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right?
It seems in your anger, you killed her.
I couldn't have. She was alive. I felt it.
Vader would sometimes describe his suit as a walking coffin, constantly feeling claustrophobic and pain from the inferior robotics snagging on his burned flesh and tugging on his nerve endings. During the years he lived as Darth Vader, he would constantly be in a state of depression, constantly grieving over the loss of Padme, and forever living in regret of the choices he made. He would see Padme's face and relive the days where he was Anakin Skywalker, constantly making scenarios in his head about his life, what could have been if Padme had lived and if he tried a new route, and tried something that could help him, and not destroy everything he helped build. Always being reminded of his unborn child was gone. All of his fellow Jedi were either dead or waiting to be slaughtered by his hand. His immaturity and lack of knowledge led him here, in this suit, with this pain, with this anger. And worst of all, he was a slave again. Palpatine was the new Sith Lord, Lord Sidious. Sidious made sure that Vader was kept in his place. He was his errand boy, a mercenary to hunt down remaining Jedi. Sidious made Darth Vader's suit sensitive to Force lightning, making his life support short out and causing him to lose air. So Darth Vader basically had no power. He had no one. The man he had trusted as a young boy was now a master, keeping him on a short leash and forever bound to his bidding. Even during the times where he would try and sleep, he would have hellish nightmares of the mistakes he made. His life was a constant reminder of the choices he had made and the life that he had lost. He was once a promised Jedi that would once bring life back into the galaxy, but now he's taking it all away, slaughtering anyone who comes near him. But he didn't care about any of that. All he wanted was his wife, his family. But that was all gone. Darth Vader was a tortured soul that never saw true happiness, and underneath that was Anakin Skywalker, a little boy who was destined to be a great Jedi, but instead he was destined to be just a suffering little child that never saw true peace.